June isn't Pride Month.
Except it is. You see, I double checked.
June is Men's Mental Health Month.
Yeah, June is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. You know that something can be two things at the same time, right? Like, for example, my birthday month is in August, and so is Chris Hemsworth. Does that make me Chris Hemsworth? According to my wife, it unfortunately... It does not. So does that mean that because I am not Chris Hemsworth and it doesn't make me Chris Hemsworth that my birthday month is not also August because Chris Hemsworth's birthday month is August? Also, no. It just means that August is the month for both of our birthdays. Just like June is the month for both Pride and Men's Mental Health Awareness.
600,000 men a year, 58,000 men a month.
Yeah, week, minute, day, second, we know. And look, I don't want to downplay this at all, because it is a very serious problem. There's around 725,000 suicides a year, and 80 to 90% of those are men, so roughly 600,000 men a year commit suicide around the world. But why is it that you only suddenly care about it, now, specifically when it's Pride Month, and why do you only care about it in relation to Pride Month? And Bethlehem Barbie here is not alone in this sentiment that's kind of taken over the internet with asshats like this who are a little more direct to the point. You guys know you don't have to specifically care about either of these issues just like only in June, right? Because like some of those 600,000 men a year are themselves in January too, probably more so in January, seasonal depression and all that. But y'all don't seem to give a shit about it then. Y'all seem to only really care about 600,000 men a year in June. And I can only imagine that the reason you only care about it in June is because, really fun parades offend you for some reason. Which is weird, right? Because, have you been to a pride parade? It'd improve just about anybody's mental health. It's hard to not have some fun with the feverishly flamboyant. If the idea of pride and people just loving themselves and who they are and celebrating that offends you so much that it doesn't improve your mental health and make you a little happier, then maybe you should just go become a statistic anyway, because we don't need you to fuck around. But honestly, I think the most painful irony about all of this bullshit rhetoric is the fact that you guys say this while ignoring the reality that, gay men and trans men are some of those 600,000 men. In fact, per capita, the LGBTQ community represents a higher suicide risk than pretty much any other demographic. And that's because assholes like you people say and do shit like this. You know what helps prevent suicide? Not making people feel like they're not an accepted part of society. Not making your children or your friends or your neighbors feel ashamed about who they are or tell them that they can't love who they want to love. You know what helps prevent some suicides? Letting people embrace and celebrate something about who they are that has been demonized for generations. How many men do you think kill themselves because they are terrified to come out of the closet? How many do you think decide not to because they go to something like a pride parade and find a community that accepts them? And even if you're not a member of the LGBTQ community, the LGBTQ community is one of the most accepting communities on the planet. Like, I'm not gay, but I've been to gay bars lots of times, and I've made friends every single time. I did go to a lesbian bar once, not the same experience. That was a weird vibe. The point is that these communities are about acceptance, so whether that's drag queens letting kids know that they can be whatever they want to be, or pride parade showing that you don't need to hide who you are in public, regardless of who that is, unless, of course, again, you're a bigot, then you should hide who you are, because you're trash. Or, if it's just your gay friend. Have you ever had a gay friend? You should try having a gay friend. No one will make you feel better about yourself than your gay friend. The point is that these communities are doing more to improve everyone's mental health than you are by bitching about the fact that Pride Month shares Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. That doesn't help anybody. That just makes you an asshole. And even though all these homophobes that repeat this propaganda are really good at swallowing, the other piece of irony that is really tough to swallow here is the fact that this is a self-fulfilling prophecy. The red pill bullshit that covers all of this, encompasses all of this homophobia and sexism and says that empathy is a weakness. All of that shit is almost exclusively what causes men to, the male loneliness epidemic. Self-inflicted, motherfuckers. This type of rhetoric is the shit that makes men lonely. In part because, it's really hard to find a woman who wants to sleep with men who believe this kind of bullshit. And in part because it gives men the impression that they can't talk about their feelings and who they are unless it fits into this alpha male mold that doesn't really exist. Because every alpha male I've ever met is the biggest beta cuck on the fucking planet. See, promoting the concept of pride promotes men's mental health, even if you're not gay, because it promotes the idea of supporting and having empathy for other people who have struggled, even if you can't relate specifically to their struggle. It lets men know that it's okay to be who you are, even if that doesn't fit the mold of a man that you have in your head. It lets you know that it's okay to talk about your problems, about things you feel different about, things that are bothering you, and that there's communities out there that will accept you. So look, if you care about men's mental health and you want to reduce that 600,000 a year number, and you do that by supporting Pride and supporting civil rights and supporting women's rights. You do it by being inclusive, by being loving, by creating a safe space in our society. Because if you're not doing that, then you don't give a shit about a single one of those 600,000 men. You're just using their pain, their tragedy, their deaths to push your hate. And if you're doing that, then their blood is on your hands. Happy Pride.